Chat! Chat! We're so fucking Barack. Okay, we fix it. Is it showing up properly? That's the question. Are the closed captions properly working? Yes. Let's fucking go. This was not worth it. My god. This was so not worth it. Oh my god. Okay, we need to record the video now, right? Like, there's no shot I did this for nothing, right? Open dire now, true. Four streams today, true. I got pinged in the Discord 3 times. Ribbozo. Uh... Can you fit between the skills and HP? Maybe, yeah. Can I, like... Yeah, I can move both of them at once. Wait. Let me... Hmm...
You have a special place in my heart.
How's this? Yeah, that seems nice. Right? Seems pretty good. Decent placement for it. Thoughts? If I do record this, I will most definitely be using Joel the whole time. Okay, so let me plan out how I want to explain this. Right? So we want to talk about just default charge attack stuff, right? Basic charge attack. Do you see the slice slip when he saw Joel? No. So default charge attack. Um And then we want to talk about the properties of the charge attack. Right? What properties do we have that we want to talk about? Um Hmm. Cuz like the reason why Hmm. So
Exploration and trials.
what the game needs for it to register C8 instead of normal attack, right? and forced delay on first charge attack. Alright, and it'll be a lot easier to show now that I have the overlay, right? Right, like you can, it's a lot easier to tell when I'm releasing, right? So like, on the first charge attack, I release now, and it takes a while before it does the finisher. But after that, as soon as I release, it does the finisher, right? Oh, it's gonna be so much easier to explain with the overlay. Oh, that's nice. Okay. And then Sam can like put both of the put the footage for both next to one another and like time them so that the button release happens at the same time for both, so you can see how much longer it takes on the first charge attack after release. And then a lockout during finisher. Right? When you're doing the finisher, if you start doing something while the finisher animation is going, it just doesn't register unless it's a dash or a jump. Right? I should go in that one here.
Rev the engines.
Right, if I... Wait, let me get the overlay back. If I start inputting before the finisher animation is over, it just doesn't register it. The animation needs to actually finish, otherwise the next charge attack, even though I'm still holding, right? It just... It's not going off, right? Okay. Because all the combos that you do on Mawika, I guess there's also gonna be the like the hands-off driving, right? But outside of the hands-off driving, all the combos you do are just a combination of the ways these mechanics interact, right? I guess we also should have... Okay, yeah. And then... buffer during dash. Right? It's all combinations of these four mechanics, right? So the first thing we want to talk about is the CDC combo. Right? Don't forget to talk about the plunge combos. Shut the fuck up. No thank you. So CDC combos is um forced delay slash lockout, right? Like the reason why CDC works is because you um during the first charge attack lockout, you can or no. During first CA delay, releasing CA doesn't enter finisher immediately. Right? So you use that. I guess I shouldn't call it lockout at all, right? Um, that like free time after release to buffer your charge attack, your next charge attack, even before inputting dash, right? That's what the CDC is, right? It's you're using the fact that there are some of Marika's charge attack options that don't immediately make her leave the charge attack when she releases the button to capitalize on the fact that you get to buffer your charge attack during your dash to make it come out more quickly. But you get to actually trick the game into allowing you to buffer your charge attack before the dash. Yeah, I need to, like, properly figure out how I want to explain it before I start recording. I think that's how I want to go about it, right? Probably. Then CDF is just the same thing during finisher lockout. And then you have hands-off driving. That allows the, like, Omega combo. Um, even outside of bursts, yeah. Okay, I think I'm ready to explain it properly. You guys want to say hi to YouTube? Hello, beautiful people, and welcome. Hi, to a video about Mawika combos. I've talked a decent amount about Mawika combos in the past few weeks, because people have found new ones a little while ago, but I don't think any of it actually ended up making it to the main channel, any of the, like, proper explanations for them. I know there's been some clippers that posted it, but I figured this was probably something that's worth putting on the channel because it's actually pretty impactful for Mawika's stuff. So I wanted to talk about it. And also, maybe even more importantly, to me at least, I think that the things that allow you to do these combos are really interesting. The combos are too difficult for me to be able to do them reliably, but the fact that they exist is really cool, I think. It's good that there's more skill expression. Should the skill expression be on the character that even without it is already the best in the game? As a carry, probably not, but I mean, it is what it is, right? Anyways, you've probably heard about the new Mawika combos, but you might be intimidated. Or you might be seeing those and being like, well, I don't know where to start about like learning how to do them. I don't really get it. And so in this video, I want to talk about the combos, but I also want to like explain what makes them actually work. Because the reason why they work is a combination of a lot of stuff that usually isn't noticeable because it just happens in the back end. But that actually is like the devs actually putting in the work to make characters feel better. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So before we get into any optimized combo, let's just talk about Mawika's charge attack very quickly. Mawika's charge attack just makes her spin on her bike. It's the best. It's her best source of damage during burst. Because her burst buffs the charge attack a lot more than it buffs the normal attack. And so any way that you have of optimizing charge attacks to get more charge attacks possibly is going to be really useful. By default, during the uptime of 7 seconds provided by the burst, you have time to do 8 charge attacks. Technically, maybe 9. So if you just do your charge attack, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then maybe a 9th one before she does the finisher hit by herself, whether you ask her to or not. And she does that finisher hit after about 7 seconds, so the finisher hit itself, if you're just holding your charge attack button the whole time, will happen after the burst buff expires. Now, whether you get 8 or 9 charge attack depends on positioning. Because her charge attack hitbox is a little weird. But generally, if you try to position yourself really close to the enemy, and maybe on like the right side so that you're hitting them on the left because she spins clockwise, so she hits left before she hits right. Right? You can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we didn't get the 9th one there. We only got 8. Oh. I went too far from the statue, so I lost my 9th soul. Oh. Whatever. Let's just kill him. Oh, nice. Okay. Bro. I heckin' love Ninth Soul Transmission. But yeah, you'll get either 8 or 9 depending on positioning. And that's not bad, right? Like, that is already enough to make Maoika, in a lot of situations, the best carry in the game. But there are a few things that you can do to increase the amount of charge attacks you can do. Before we get into any of the, like, actual, like, somewhat complicated optimization,
Burn it down.
let's just realize that if you do a charge attack and then you dash, you get to spam it like this. And because her dash deals damage, you can use her dash as a way to increase your application to make your reactions line up better. Because the dash and the charge attack, as well as the normal attacks, and even the plunge attacks in bike form, all share ICD. So you can potentially get more reactions and a little bit of extra damage if you incorporate some dashes. Because of this, by default, the, like, very, very basic combo that you can do in, like, vape teams, for example, or even just in overload teams, is charge attack twice, then dash. The reason why you want to charge attack twice is because if you charge attack once, the first charge attack takes a little bit to properly come out, so it's delayed a bit, so it's not that great. And if you charge attack, or if you dash immediately after your second hit, the next hit comes out fairly quickly. So the more often you do dashes, the better. And so doing 2 charge attacks in between each dash is going to be the best, because with one you have the added delay. And with 3, well, you're starting to be a little unhappy. Anyways. It also makes reactions line up the best because the internal cooldown is 3 hits. So if you do 3 charge attacks, your next hit will react, and that's going to be a dash. And because the dash does not get buffed by the burst, right? It buffs normal and charge, but not dash. Not only is it, like, a decent amount less than the charge attack by default, it's a lot less because you're also not getting this extra bonus from Fighting Spirit. In melt teams, you generally don't want to do this because when you increase your application too much, she might start applying more element than your supports can, and she might end up applying Pyro as an aura to the enemy and start losing all of her reactions. In melt teams, generally, you intentionally delay yourself so that you get to react as many hits as possible. When you do just hold charge attack, because of the way the internal cooldown works, it's a 3-hit rule, but also a 2.5 second cooldown. Very quick recap of internal cooldown. Outside of stuff that either doesn't have ICD or has special ICD, most things for internal cooldown work with 2 rules, the hit rule and the time rule. So, the hit rule dictates that after you've hit with an ability that has not reacted twice in a row, the next one is guaranteed to react. Right, so your first hit will always react, and then every third hit after that will as well. So 1, 4, 7, 10, etc. But there's also a time rule. And the time rule will make your whole thing reset back to 0. Every 2.5 seconds, things just get reset. Now, the reason why you want to slow yourself down in melt teams is because the time rule 2.5 second reset happens between the 4th and the 5th hit. And this creates a situation where the 4th hit will apply pyro because of the hit rule, but then your time reset happens and the 5th hit applies pyro as well. And unless you're applying cryo in between those two hits, which can be difficult to do reliably, that second hit will generate a pyro aura on the enemy, and you will lose your reactions for the rest of your charge attack. Because of this, optimal melt Maoika combos that are just very basic without any of the complicated cancels generally do either 1, 2, 3, 4 jump. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because when your time rule happens, you just get to start over. And the jump allows you to delay your charge attack enough to make sure you get the cryo back on the enemy. And your second option is to do 1, 2, 3, finisher. And then do that again.
Incinerate!
Based on the specific timing, you can also add a dash in, depending on when exactly it happens. But these are like the very, very basic combos for melt and for vape with the C2D. But that's not what this whole video is about, right? This was like a bit of an introduction, just so that everyone's on the same page before we start getting into the actual cool shit. So what is the cool shit? Well, let me show you C2D, right? The vape default vape combo. And now let me show you the optimized way of doing this. As you may be able to notice, we get our charge attacks out a lot more quickly. But in order to understand how you can do this, we need to talk about a bunch of different back-end things that happen for Maoika. So, the first important thing is the first charge attack coding, right? When you do your first charge attack on Maoika, if you release your charge attack quickly, she does not instantly start the finisher. So if I do my charge attack and then release it instantly, alright? By the way, this is why I've added the input overlay here. It takes a while before the finisher goes off. Whereas, after the first charge attack, as soon as I release, she does the finisher. What that means is that after the start of the first charge attack animation, you have a relatively short time period where even without holding the charge attack, Maoika is still charge attacking. by itself, that doesn't do much. But this period where you get to be charge attacking without having to hold the charge attack button, when paired with another mechanic, will allow you to cheat out a faster charge attack. What is the other mechanic? It is the way that charge attack buffers work. So, in general, games tend to allow you to buffer certain things. The concept of buffering just means that you do a specific input before your character is, like, actually free to do whatever. So, for example, if I do a normal attack on Mawika, and then I start driving, right? It takes a little bit for me to actually be able to start driving forward. As long as I input my next normal attack in a specific window after the first one, even if it's before the first normal attack animation is over, it'll often get registered properly. What's an example of something that can be buffered very easily? Like, what's the most obvious bufferable ability in Genshin that I could use to show this? Actually, pretty much every... Do I even need to? I feel like I kind of don't. Okay, actually, this is a great example. If I double-click on Mawika's, like, without the bike, right? If I just double-click on the normal attack button and hold the second one, even if I do it basically instantly, it will register the charge attack after the normal attack. Even though I've started my input for the charge attack before I was actually allowed to do something else after the first normal attack, right? Anyways.
Light it up.
When it comes to... Actually... Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at what happens if you try to buffer Mawika's normal charge attack, like outside of the bike, after a dash. Nothing happens. Sometimes it does the N1 after, right? But in the bike form, during your dash animation, you can already start inputting your next charge attack. And the way that it's coded is a little bit weird. The next charge attack, after a dash, will start its animation a specific amount of time after you've started your buffer. So if I do... like this, with a relatively long delay between the two, it takes a while before the charge attack goes off. And I guess another way to look at it... and there's a bit of a delay there. Generally, that's not that big of a deal, because your dash animation is fairly short, so even if you buffer it as early as the game allows you to, you're only gaining a couple frames. You're only gaining a tiny little bit of speed in your cancels. But you can cheat. There's a specific input combination that allows you to start buffering your charge attack rather than after your dash input, before your dash input. Because again, the way that the game decides when to start the charge attack after a dash is based on when you started holding the charge attack. So if you somehow find a way to trick the game into thinking that you've started to hold the charge attack before the dash, it will allow you to start your charge attack way, way quicker. And this is where the interaction with the previous mechanic comes in. While you're locked out of any of your charge attack inputs mattering after the first charge attack,
Incinerate!
you can still dash if you want,
Incinerate!
but you can't keep starting the next charge attack.
Incinerate!
Like, pre-buffering the next charge attack doesn't do anything. That's because the game doesn't allow you to start a charge attack during the lockout between the first charge attack and the game's registered, okay, you stopped holding, so we'll do a finisher now. But because the game doesn't allow that charge attack to be buffered, it kind of just forgets about it. And because of that, if you try to buffer it and then input a dash, the game only sees, oh, you're currently holding charge attack during this dash. It is not a charge attack that has gone off yet. Okay, that means you've buffered this charge attack after the dash. How long have you been holding it? Oh, okay. You've been holding it for long enough. We can now start the next charge attack. And this allows you to basically skip the whole dash animation. Right? Without it, just look at how much we are moving forward when we dash, every time we dash.
Incinerate!
Whereas if we manage to trick the game the way we've described, look at how little we move. The combination of these two mechanics allows you to get your charge attacks and your dashes out way, way, way more quickly. And this is very good. But there's a problem. What exactly happens when you spam the dash button in Genshin? You get your first one, you get your second one, and then nothing. Dashing in Genshin has a cooldown. The cooldown is per character, so you can do like dash, dash, swap, dash, dash, swap, dash. Well, I guess we got some Night Soul bullshit going on. But whatever. Dashing has a cooldown, which means this CDC... By the way, that's what we'll be calling it here. The CDC combo, when I say that, I am describing the pre-buffered input that allows you to basically get a shorter dash animation. What was I saying? Chow, what was I saying? I looked at chat and I got distracted. GG. Oh yeah, we're talking about the double dash stuff. Okay. But because of this, if you just try to spam this CDC thing,
Incinerate! Incinerate!
after the second one, if you try to do a third one, your dash is on cooldown. And as it turns out, when your dash is on cooldown, you don't dash. That's crazy. And so because of that,
Incinerate!
you can't just spam this specific input. So you've got a few options. Option number one is to incorporate some finishers. Using Maoika's finisher also has some lockout frames where, just like after the first charge attack like this, if you start inputting your next charge attack, it doesn't properly get registered as a buffer. But that means, obviously, that you can do the very same thing. While your buffer isn't allowed, you buffer anyways, and then you dash to trick the game into registering your buffer early.
Incinerate! 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 Incinerate!
Oops, I did it a bit too early on that one. Did that again.
Incinerate!
Mamika's finisher hit is a bit slower, but the number on it is a little bit higher, so it can be alright to do this. And more importantly, if you just do this thing, and you don't do finishers, after the first hit, trying to release
Incinerate! Incinerate!
oops,
Incinerate!
won't
Incinerate!
after the first hit, right? When you're not dealing with the lockout frames from the first hit anymore, trying to pre-buffer your next charge attack won't work. And you'll just end up dashing and looking like an idiot. And so you're kind of forced to do finishers. By the way, right, it sounds pretty complicated, but the actual input combination isn't too complicated, right? This is why I've added the input overlay. For the basic one, it's use your mouse button long enough that it registers a charge attack, then release, and then do left, right, like this, right? So hold left, right. Hold left, right. Or charge, charge, dash. Charge, charge, dash. Yeah, you can also use shift instead. Charge, charge, shift. Oops. I think. Yeah. You can also use shift if you're more comfortable with that. Like, for your dash, I'm using my mouse button, but you can use shift, no problem. Okay. The earlier you start pre-buffering your next charge attack, the shorter your dash animation will be, right? So if I do this, with a very short delay between my charge and my dash, on the second one, we still move forward a decent amount. If I start holding a little bit earlier, oops. If I start holding a little bit earlier, I will move less. But if I start holding too early, you will get to a point where the, like, delay between when you start inputting and when the charge attack properly goes off all happens before your dash input. And so by the time you use the dash input, the game doesn't register you as having recently started a charge attack, and the buffer just doesn't work. If you just start dashing like this and just not doing a charge attack, it's because you started your next charge attack input too early. Oops. But the earlier you do it, the faster it is. So finding that sweet spot where you're doing it early enough for it to be a major DPS upgrade, but not so early that you start fucking it up, is going to be like the main challenge here. Personally, I don't try to do it too close to frame perfect. I'm comfortable just doing something like this. Oops. Okay, am I... and accepting a slight delay here. But if you want to do clears that are as good as Karen's clears, for example, that's what you gotta try to optimize. And all of that is cool and all. But here's the thing. Finishers suck ass to do. Like, yeah, they're not bad, but just in terms of how much you can do, in a perfect world, the more often you can dash, the better. And so, if there was a way for you to actually start, or if there was a way for you to do the pre-buffered charge attack after the second charge attack instead of the first one, you would rather do that. And technically, there is. Let's talk about booking for a second. If you've ever played Noelle, or another Claymore user that uses charge attack, you might know that if you start holding your charge attack and then you open a menu. All right, as you can see, I'm not using my mouse inputs anymore. And then leave the menu. Your charge attack keeps going.
Incinerate!
In that state, for Maoika, you can still do the charge dash input. Oops. I fucked it up on the second one. But yeah. In that state, you can still do the charge dash input. Now you might be thinking, well, that's cool and all, but you can't book Incision Onslaught. None of the menus pause the game. Maoika specifically has a way to enter this, I'm gonna call it hands-off driving state, where you can be spinning without holding any buttons. Without booking. This one, I have no idea how it works on the back end. I have no fucking clue why this specific input combination makes you enter hands-off driving. So I apologize about that one, but just know that it does. So, during the lockout frames, after your first charge attack, before it allows you to do the finisher, right? The time during which, if you start pre-buffering an attack, it just won't do anything. If you release your charge attack, and then you double click, she just keeps driving. And so, while she's in that state, oops. While she's in that state, you can do the pre-buffered thing after the second hit instead of the first one. And if it happens after the second hit instead of the first one, the delay between your dashes is long enough that you do not enter dash cooldown. So this combines pre-buffering your charge, or buffering your charge attack after the dash, with the lockout frames, with the hands-off driving. And this combo is the combo that you see on the latest 180-second clear of Dire with C0R1 that Karen posted. One of the major advantages of this combo compared to just the CDC with finishers like this. Oops. Frame drop, thank you.
Incinerate! Incinerate!
Is that the CDC with finisher combo, by default, doesn't actually allow you to CDC twice at the start, because if you do your charge dash input, What actually happens is you do charge damage, then dash damage, then charge damage. And if you do that again, the next thing that happens is dash damage. Which means the fourth hit is a dash. What did we talk about earlier? When we talked about ICD? The fourth hit reacts, and the dash is bad. You don't want to be reacting on the dash. And so because of that, what you want to do is intentionally delay, or it's not do the second CDC, and then that obviously means you'll get less damage, right? Because you get the good combo you're optimizing for less often. Right? And what you actually end up doing very often for those combo is you do CDC at the start, and then you do CDF. So, sorry.
Incinerate!
This combo works pretty well in melt teams because the application tends to happen on every finisher and only on finishers after the beginning, which means your application isn't too fast that your cryo characters struggle to keep up, and it all happens on your biggest hits. And then in vape teams, you're kind of like, whatever. And in overload teams, you just do the CDC twice into finisher, right? So, oops.
Incinerate! 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 Incinerate!
But the Hera specifically, because it has an infinite aura, allows you to do the vape combos, which are generally, right, I refer to them as vape combos, they're the combos that get the highest possible reaction damage, assuming that applying more pyro does not create reaction issues, right? And the best vape combo does use this hands-off driving tech. Just like this. And you can actually technically get 7 reactions during your burst with that combo. As a frame of reference, the default just hold charge attack is 4. C2D is 5. So 7 is a massive upgrade. Obviously, in general melt teams, that's not what you want to do, because you don't have enough cryo application to keep up for this. So it's generally just vape teams. For comparison, the CDN1 that people do in vape teams... Oops. In order to get hits out a little bit more quickly, gets 6 reactions. And 5 of the hits you're doing are normal attacks instead of charge attacks, which are lower damage. Let's properly show how these combos look against enemies now. I guess we can use... the crab, right? Does the crab go up if you don't break the shield? I don't think so, right? It only starts getting ragdolled when the shield gets broken, I think.
Wrath from the sky!
So here we got 9 hits because we managed to spin around a little in a favorable position. And then the finisher hit happened after burst expired. Let's compare to a few of the other combos. So if we do C2D. That was either 9 or 10. I'm not entirely sure. Also, nice. But we additionally got an extra 5 dashes. Next, the default melt combo. I kind of fucked that one up. Oopsie. I accidentally did a better cancel.
Light of the blazing sun. Incinerate.
Bro, okay. My muscle memory is starting to get too used to the combos, so not doing them feels wrong.
Pyroclastic surge.
I think my fucking finisher didn't hit. But whatever, you get the idea. Then the default CDC combo that does CDC with finishers.
Light of the blazing sun. Incinerate. Incinerate.
And finally, the hands-off driving combo.
Wrath from the skies.
I fucked it up real bad there. It's kind of hard to do it against small enemies, honestly.
Pyroclastic surge.
Okay. Because the faster you do your cancels, the less, or the more, like the more left Maoika ends up right before the dash, right? And if the enemy is too small, if she's too far left, it might not actually hit.
Wrath from the skies.
Yeah.
Pyroclastic surge.
Fuck. But yeah, the hands-off driving combo is by far the hardest one of them.
Wrath from the skies. Pyroclastic surge.
Fucking god, I'm starting to get pissed off. Maybe I should show this in Stygian so that the enemy's a bit bigger.
Sun.
I fucked it up at the end there, but the start was good.
Pyroclastic surge.
Yeah, it was fine. I think we missed some of the hits because the enemy's too small there, but at least we showed the combo fairly well. if you're trying to learn the combo and you're struggling, I'll tell you, I was. It took me like a solid 2 hours of bashing my head against the wall for me to even start getting the combo, let alone reliably. Part of that is because it's kind of hard to tell what's going wrong. And so I'll describe a few potential situations where fucking things up will lead to different outcomes. So if you're doing the hands-off driving thing, think of the position of the bike as a clock, right? With the front being 12 o'clock. For some reason, the game does not allow you to do the pre-buffered combos at 12 o'clock. I don't really know why. But like from like 11 to 1 o'clock, basically, the game doesn't allow you to do the pre-buffer. If you do it before 11, it'll work. If you do it after 1, it'll work. But between 11 and 1, it won't. The thing is, if you do it after 1, it's way too late to be a proper DPS game. And if you do it before like 10, your charge attack hit won't go through. But yeah, let me just show. Yeah. There. This is what happens when you try to do it at 12 o'clock. This is when it's not at 12 o'clock, when it's before. Then this is after 12 o'clock. Oops, that was a bit too close to 12 o'clock. Fuck me, man. I'm not sure, whatever. It's a bit hard to show here with the booking. And with just the, like, double tap to enter hands-off driving, it goes too fast for it to be easy to properly explain. But just know that if you start dashing like an idiot here, it's probably because the specific timing when you're doing it is wrong. And you're probably doing it a little bit too late. Right? So if you're fucking it up because you start dashing and then normal attacking, it's because you're doing it too late. If you're fucking it up because you're only getting one charge attack hit in between each dash, it's because you're doing it too early. And if you feel like you're doing it right, but things are just slow, it's probably because you're doing the dash right after the hold. And you need to start holding a little bit earlier without changing your dash timing, right? We move a little bit forward here when we do it early. Oh well. Anyways. Moika combos are kind of complicated because they use a lot of, like, buffered input mechanics. But honestly, I think it's pretty cool. The fact that a bunch of different quality of life features intended as a way to just make her feel more smooth to play. ended up interacting in a way that allows you to get significantly more DPS. As a general rule, when you're playing Melt against an enemy that isn't the Hera, that doesn't have infinite aura, I'd say that doing these combos doesn't matter. Stick to the 4 Melt stuff, you're fine. When you're playing Vape, it can be worth doing, but it's really difficult to get actual DPS increases, because if you fuck it up in Vape, you start reacting the wrong hits, you start reacting the dashes, and that's really, really bad. But in Overload, I think these combos are most definitely worth learning. You don't need to do the hands-off driving one, but at the very least, the default CDC is something you should do if you play Mawika in Overload teams, whether it's in, like, Mawika carry Overload teams, or in, like, Varissa teams, for example. Or Cloyne teams, or whatever. But yeah, as usual, I hope you enjoyed. Bit of a different type of video. I didn't show too much of like the actual reaction stuff for her combos, because the purpose of this video is less to like talk about how strong the combos are, and more to give people that are struggling to understand how to do them a resource that will help them. So I hope the way I've explained it was relatively easy to understand. I hope you learned a thing or two. And as usual, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, YouTube. Alright, chat, we've recorded our Mawika combo video. Let me tell the editor. Recorded Mawika combo guide. Oh, actually, let me put a marker down because there's one more thing I wanna say. Okay, one thing I wanna add to this is, when you are doing these optimized Mawika combos, some of the properties of her charge attacks change. So the property that her charge attack has of counting as a normal attack animation at the start, it only counts as a normal attack in the first few frames when the game hasn't decided yet if you've held the normal attack button long enough for it to be a charge attack. So it just counts it as a normal attack until it's registered it to have been held for long enough. But because these combos skip the first part of her charge attack by buffering it during the dash, they can end up cutting out entirely the portion of her combo, or the portion of her first charge attack that allows you to proc normal attack effects, like Singto, for example. Effects that trigger earlier into normal attack animations will trigger more often through these, but
Light of the blazing sun.
as you can see, we're not getting a single hit from Singto there.
Let me weave you a pyroclastic surge. Incinerate.
On this one, we also don't get a single hit from Singto.
Game's up. Fun's over. Wrath from the skies.
Oops. Here we don't get anything from Yelan as well. And we don't get anything from Fischl C6 as well. So, if you're going to be playing Fischl in... actually, yeah. And because the main purpose of these hands-off driving combos is to allow you to do CDC cancels that line up well with reactions, not proccing Xingqiu or Yelan is a pretty big deal. It means that the only way you'll be able to do a Vate Mawika team that uses these combos is with Hydro application that does not rely on those. Technically, Xingqiu orbital application can be enough, but generally it's put the Farina in the bag.
Gotcha. Quietly now. Light of the blazing sun.
Oops. Anyways. It's hard here because the enemies are dying, but... Anyways. That's it. Editors, you can put that, like, before the outro. Okay, business. Alright, is there anything else I want to do today, chat? Maybe there isn't. IT? We're not doing IT today. No. I don't wanna. Did he already stall? I didn't, actually. I did not stall. We should stall. We stare. Let's pound. Yeah. Let's zilch. Refit. Remit? Bet. Bet. What the fuck? Enjoy the Thanksgiving meal. Ate good. I don't think that's that. Back half of a goat all time. Sudden urged craving. Santa's landing place. Roof. Abstain from eating fast. Tough guy. Ready to use without further assembly. Pre-made. Maybe? I don't know, actually. Okay, I don't think it's craving. Because I think this is Elmo. Pet food brand, no clue. Thanksgiving side dish that can fill the... Okay, I don't think it's pre-made, but... I don't know what people eat for Thanksgiving, man. I'm not fucking American. Shop till you drop. MMMM. I don't know this. Requests, asks, maybe. Get what I'm saying? Maybe C? Try? I should mention, by the way. Don't know. Large coffee dispenser? Don't know. Tough guy. Ready to use without... I don't know. Feasted, perhaps? Fair? Don't know. Stuffing, maybe? Is this supposed to be like turkey wings? But what the fuck is a turnkey? Maybe it's a thing. I don't know. Bruiser? Maybe? M's? Impulse? Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, well, that was something, I guess. Ooh. This is... kind of an ugly angle, actually. It's like a 54, maybe? So 306? No, not even close. Wow. 312? Okay. Meh. Meh. By the way, I feel worse about getting it in 2 tries when my first guess was 6 degrees off than getting it in 4 when my first guess was like 3 degrees off. Oh, we've got some nudity. GG. I don't know what this is. I do know what this is. Do I know what this is? I do know what this is, right? Yeah, I do know what this is. It was Akira. That's, fuck, what's it called again? Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I know that one. Is that an isekai? It's got an isekai vibe, but I don't know if it's actually an isekai. I have no clue what this is. Ah. Okay, GG. Okay, well, I know one of these. I don't know the other ones. Okay, whatever. I mean, it's one of the tennis shows. Is it Prince of Tennis, maybe? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know the other ones. No, GG. Okay. Do I know this? I don't. Kind of looks like Fairy Tail. It's probably not Fairy Tail. But the face looks Fairy Tail. Oh, it was Fairy Tail. Bet. Well, cool, I guess. Alright, chat. Helpers. Unite. Assemble. 2016, very good. Not manga or light novel. Maybe original, maybe visual novel. Not drama, fantasy, suspense, or sports. Mob Psycho? Surely Mob Psycho has the drama tag, no? Oh my god, it doesn't. It should. Whatever. It's fine. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Whatever, man. Sure. Sure. Sure, no, it's fine. Gee, I wonder what this is. That's Hunter x Hunter, right? It is, right? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it is, right? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, okay. It's one of the few openings I actually recognize. No fucking clue what the hell this is. That's a person with an instrument on a boat on a lake. These are slimes. Oh, is that the guy with the gods? No, it's not. I think it is. By the grace of the gods. Yeah. Isekai equal no. I didn't remember there was instruments in that show, but Oh, how, bro? I mean, there's only one isekai that's got slimes as like a major plot element, I think. Well, I guess that's not true. There's another one that's pretty popular, but like other than the one everyone knows about, there's only that one, I think. No clue. The hell is that? Yeah, I have no fucking clue, man. What the fuck? What? Fantastic Children. Okay. Well. Oh my god. 45k, Chad. Are you proud of me? That was a good day. Holy. That was a good day. Alright, chat. You're a great streamer. Thank you very much. Should we do the OST guesser? Sure, let's do the OST guesser. Fuck, who is that again? That's not Farina, right? Or is it? Hmm. I don't think it's Farina. But maybe it is. No. I mean, it's French, right? Is it Linny? I think it might be Linny. Like my first vibe was Farina, but I feel like I would be certain if it was Farina. Chat, it's not French. What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck is it? I mean, it's a bow user, so we can kind of just, like, cheat with that. But I do... It's not Sumeru, because it's 2 arrows from 4.0, right? So it can't be in 3.x. So it's either Mondstadt or Inazuma or Leah, a bow user. That doesn't make any sense. Does 2 arrows not mean over a major version before or after? How can both of them have 2 arrows? What? That doesn't make any sense. What's the point of having 2 arrows if it doesn't mean shit? Whatever, man. I'm upset. Like, I'll take the L, because I probably should have recognized it. But, like... Bro. It's too short. I don't know. Don't know equal Fontaine. I don't know. Sounds maybe Inazuma? What other region uses strings like that? Like, Fontaine doesn't. Maybe it's like an underwater Fontaine thing, though. So, like... Oh. Well, I recognize this leitmotif. This is Sumeru? Really? Bro, what is this from? Vanarana, I see. Well, that was an acceptable... That was not acceptable, dude. I thought that was fucking terrible, man. Jesus Christ. Maybe we redeem ourselves with the pips. Because that was really bad. Thoughts? Um... Okay. Now we do medium. I don't want to think too much. I'll just try the 1, and if it's not the 1, then it's the 0, and it is what it is. It can't be the 1. There's no other 6. Okay, it's the 0, and it is what it is. Bro. Uh... Okay. Let's do the hard one now. That's a bit annoying, huh? I don't want to think too hard, so I'll just fucking send shit at the start, and it is what it is. Hmm. How many fives do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many fours do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. What? That doesn't make any sense. Does that mean these have to be zeros? It does. Hmm. Yeah, and like 0, 5, 0, 2, 2, 4, 4, 5, 5 something else, 0, 6. That doesn't work, does it? I'm an idiot. Damn. No. Shit. It doesn't work, chat. Chat, I don't know how to do this. My brain is struggling with this. Oh no. Yeah, I feel like it can't be that at the top here. Hmm. Maybe like this? And like this? And like this? And like this? And like this? No. No, that doesn't fucking work. Kinda has to be this, right? No, that doesn't fucking work either. Chat! We might be cooked. I think I'm too stupid for this one. Hmm. No. Wait. It's fine. All right, chat. I think that's gonna be it for today. Tomorrow, we do IT for real. Actually, tomorrow is an IT day. Klugi. But today I have a video to post. So as usual, if you can find it through YouTube, it helps more with the algorithm. Which one should I do? I have 2 to post. That's crazy. Let's actually delay the 5-star or the 4-star selector one until we get closer to the patch. Let's post the video about the 5 biggest winners from the Witch Bus. As usual, if you can find it through YouTube, it helps more with the algorithm. If you're too lazy, I understand. Here's a link. Go watch it, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!